Okay, we are live on Facebook as well. Yay! Hope you guys are having an awesome Wednesday. I almost said Thursday. For those of you guys who are in Lexington, hope you're cozy up at home with all the crazy weather that we're having. But tonight we're going to be cooking a nice, fun, cozy meal. We are making lentil tacos. So it's regular macro day in our trim boot camp world. So if you all are like me, you look so forward to this day and you look so forward to all the carbs. So this recipe is perfect for that. If you guys are feeding a family, this is a really great one to kind of make beef and the lentil filling if you are trying to do meatless or trying to eat more things like fiber. It's great to do kind of the beef and the lentil version, and then everyone can sort of build their own tacos. So that's something we teach with the Healthy Passion and Trim Boot Camp, is that you can sort of make a meal that fits everybody's goals and that everyone's happy, so you're not cooking two different meals. So if you guys are not aware, I know I've said it now the last couple days, but our beta round of trim kicks off on Monday. So what that means is it's our discounted round. We are launching a new app. So we're basically giving you guys a little bit of a deal off of our round of trim because we want some feedback. So we're doing a call tonight at 7 p.m. with the ladies who've already signed up. And so if you guys want to hop on and go ahead and sign up tonight, you can hop on the call with us and ask all your questions, and then we officially start our onboarding week on Monday, and then official week 1 is a week after. So it's a really great round to join, simply because it's going to be full of value. It's going to be a smaller round because we want to make sure that we're not overloading ourselves with the new app and a huge round of ladies. And you get to kind of see a sneak peek into our brand new app platform that we've been working on for the last, 9 months. So smofitness.com/trim. If you're on Instagram, go to the link in our bio. If you're on Facebook, I'll post a link to sign up, but it's a great program. 8 weeks nutrition fitness. You get everything that you need to really implement our program and plan into your life and start to see fat loss. So, okay, let's talk lentils. So I eat mostly vegetarian. That's just my personal preference. A lot of ladies don't. And I feel as though everybody, whether you eat meat or not, I don't think there's one way or another that's perfect or right for anybody. I'm a big fan of like doing what you feel best doing. But I do believe that everyone can get more plant-based foods, more vegetables, more fiber, more complex carbohydrates, all that stuff into their lifestyle. And one thing I do find, especially for those ladies who do love a lot of meat and who really thrive on low carb days, is they struggle on those regular macro days to get the carbs up. So this is a really great way to sort of drive the carbs up. This recipe has a lot of carbs. Lentils are a great source of complex carbohydrates, which basically means full of fiber. It kind of slows the release of blood sugar into our systems, and they're so good for us. So like I mentioned, you can make a combination of beef, the fajita beef that we have recipe HP401 in a Healthy Passion. Make that beef, make these lentils, and kind of do like both, or have a meatless night. Okay, so for this recipe you need lentils. I'm using just a green or brown lentil. Actually I have them mixed together here because they're both very similar in the way that they cook. But you can get these anywhere really. They're in the rice section of a grocery store. I like to get mine in the bulk section as well at Whole Foods. So that's my lentils. And then chipotle chili and adobo. So this is a really great kind of spice to add. So chipotle chilies are basically dried chilies that are put in this adobo sauce. It's got this nice heat. It's not an overwhelming, super spicy heat, but it's a really kind of warming heat. So it's perfect for a cold, rainy night. But that's going to add kind of a complex, like I've been stewing all day flavor. And also it's a very savory flavor that I feel like when you are cooking vegetarian, you always want to add as much savory element as you can to the dish to really make it taste amazing. So we've got those. We've got fajita seasoning here, just my favorite go-to fajita seasoning. If you guys can't find fajita seasoning, you can Google it and make your own. Hey Mom, how's your tango? We've got some onion and garlic, and those are just going to be sort of our aromatics and really flavor up the dish. And then, what else am I forgetting? I think that's it, yeah. And then veggie stock. So we're gonna cook it in veggie stock again to give it kind of that savory flavor. Salt, pepper, olive oil. And then I'm gonna show you guys a little trick to make it even more delicious at the end. This wasn't listed on my ingredients, but if you have walnuts, after the lentils cook, we're gonna kind of mash them up a little bit and create that meat texture. And then adding in some crushed walnuts at the end sort of gives it that bite that a lot of people are missing with the lentils. And then from there, you can take it and sort of make it into a bowl, like a rice bowl. You can make it into a taco, you can make it into a taco salad. So it's really, I put on there all the fixins. It's really whatever you want from there. But I'm just going to show you how to make that base. Okay, so let's get started. First things first, we've got a pot. You want like a nice size pot. Oh no, my battery. Let's make sure I'm still live on Instagram. nice pot over medium heat, and we're going to add about half of a tablespoon of olive oil. So with this dish, other than the walnuts that we're going to add potentially at the end, if you guys want to do that, there's not a lot of fat in this, so I really like to make sure that I add a good half tablespoon of olive oil to give it that fat and give it that flavor. And then we're just going to take our onion and our garlic. So I've got 2 garlic cloves here and a small yellow onion, and get that diced up and just start sauteing it. So really, essentially, we're just going to saute the aromatics and then add some seasoning, add our lentils, and then simmer. So the main real time commitment is on the front end, and then you can sort of walk away and go do something else. So for this, we want minced onions, so we want everything kind of small. So what you're going to do is just take the peel off like I just did, and then you want to put your palm of your hand right on top of the onion. Hold your knife like this, and you're just going to take it, and I got to pull it a little closer to me, just so I don't cut myself. It's kind of hard sometimes when you're trying to demonstrate, but then you also realize you have to do it. So you're just going to kind of pull it in and cut across, and then hold that top, and then cut like this, across this way, just like that, and then kind of hold it together, and you'll get a finely diced onion. And onions are one of those things that I find that when I am dicing one, I like to dice 2 if I have the time, because it does hold up really well in the refrigerator, and if I know I'm going to need it later in the week, I have it ready to go. So, a little fun hack. And I'm just using half of this onion because this is a pretty big onion. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I would call it a large onion. So if you have a bigger onion, just use half of it. Or if you love onion, go to town. Okay, and then for the garlic, you just want to take your garlic, give a little whack here, peel off that skin, and then we're going to thinly slice it. So with the onion, we wanted it a little bit more fine. The garlic, we're going to let it be a little chunkier. And then a fun tip whenever you are cooking onions is to add a little pinch of salt as soon as you start sauteing it, and what that does is sort of draws out moisture and allows the onion to soften versus get too hot and get sort of brown, kind of like you would see with Mexican cooking where they have like that char on the onion. If you add the salt, it actually draws out the moisture and helps it to soften a little bit better. So a little tip there. All right, I'm going to clean this out of my way. You just want to keep your space clean as you cook. I know I'm not the best at it, but it makes it a lot easier when it comes time to clean if you don't have a massive mess. And honestly, this dinner is so easy. You literally prep it, put it in the pot, forget about it for a half hour, come back, and you've got dinner. So, and cleanup's a breeze. Okay, so that's going to go in. So like I mentioned before I got distracted, pinch of salt, small pinch of pepper flakes here just because, keep in mind, I'm going to add that chipotle chili in the adobo, so you don't want it to get too spicy. And then I'm just going to take a little spoon here and just let our onion soften. So that'll take about 2-3 minutes, maybe a little tiny bit longer. We are going to be boiling the onion, so it doesn't have to be perfectly cooked through, but I like to get a little bit of color and a little caramelization just to really add a lot of flavor. Okay, so while that's happening, we're going to take 1 chipotle chili in adobo. And what I like to do with this remainder of my can, because this is something like you typically use 1 of and then you don't use any more, is take them and put them in little baggies, like little small snack baggies, and just freeze them. And I just label them. And I'll typically put 2 or 3 in because a lot of my dishes I will use more than 1. And then I just pull it out of the freezer, defrost it, and use it. Can you not hear me? I have the sound on. Can you not hear me? Instagram can hear me, right? I don't know, Facebook? Alright, so just want to finally chop your chili. And basically you want to go over it quite a bit because you want this really to disperse throughout. Oh, okay. Mom, maybe it's you then. You want to disperse it throughout the dish. Alright. That looks good. Okay, so onions are softening, garlic's in there. I've got my chipotle chili all nicely diced. Okay, we'll turn up your sound. I don't know what else to say. I'm talking loud. Okay, so onions are softening. Then to that, I'm going to add fajita seasoning. I'm adding a half tablespoon of fajita seasoning. Again, lentils don't have a lot of flavor, so you really want to make sure that you season this dish up really well. So a nice amount, and I'll show you guys what this looks like here in a second. Look how good that looks. Nice and soft. Seasoned it up with the fajita. So then the chipotle chili is going to go in. Use my hand for another wrench. And then you just want to cook that about 30 seconds. Now it is spicy, so it might make you cough, so just be prepared. We just want to cook that again to sort of enhance the flavor. I feel like tomato paste, it's one of those things that when you add it, if you just let it cook a couple of seconds to a minute, it really just kind of develops and deepens the flavor versus just adding the liquid in right away. So letting that chipotle sort of give its flavor to those onions. And this really just looks like, I mean, you could add ground beef in here and cook that, and you'd have a delicious meat taco filling as well. So I'm basically just building all the same flavors as I would for a meat-based taco, but with lentils. Okay, so then it's time to add our lentils in. So I just got, like I said, these green or brown lentils and a 1/2 cup measuring. And I'm going to fill that up, add them in, give them a stir. Let everything sort of get coated with all the flavor. And then to that, I'm going to add my veggie stock cube. So like I always do, 1/2 of a vegetable stock cube is going to go in. And that's going to create sort of the base for the liquid. It's really going to flavor the lentils. Again, we're sort of building. If you guys haven't kind of noticed, my method here is to just build flavors, layer flavors. So again, next level of flavor is that veggie stock. So I'm just going to sort of stir it around, let it melt into everything, and then we can add our water. And I've got a cup and about 1/4 of water here. I want enough for the lentils to get a little bit soft. So basically, if you're cooking lentils, it's a 1/2 cup to 1, but I'm adding a little bit extra because I really want those lentils to soften so I can mash them up a little bit when they're done. And then from there, I'm just going to get everything stirred in, make sure nothing is outside of the pot, outside of the water line. Give it all a stir, and then cover it. And then you want to turn up the heat to high, bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, you can reduce it down to a simmer. And just let it simmer covered for about 25 minutes. I'll come in and then check on it, give it a stir. And then from there, the lentils should be nice and tender. You want them to be, again, like not, typically when you're cooking lentils for like a salad or something, you want them to be al dente. With these, you want them to be really, really tender. I'll turn off the heat and then I'll take a potato masher and kind of mash them up roughly. And then I'll stir in a 1/4 cup, and I'll go ahead and chop those up now. A 1/4 cup of walnuts just to make, again, like that variation of texture happen. So this is an optional step. If you're watching your fat for the day, I would definitely recommend skipping this step. But I find that it just makes them a little bit more, I don't know, kind of remind you of that texture of ground beef, which I feel like a lot of people who aren't typically used to eating meatless and are trying to maybe eat a meatless meal here and there are really looking for it to taste like meat, where for me, I don't like meat, so I don't want it to taste like meat, but I just find it gives that texture, so it makes everybody happy. That's what I'm all about. If you're going to eat something, it better be delicious. So I want everybody to make sure that they really enjoy something like this, so I just find the walnuts sort of take it to the next level. So 1/4 cup of walnuts are going to go in at the very end. You could toast these up if you want as well. I would probably recommend doing that just to give it that nice nutty flavor. And you want to make sure you mash lentils first, then stir those in, then taste. Of course, we always want to taste our food. Adjust seasonings, and then, as I mentioned, serve. Just serve it up however you want. Taco shell, taco salad. You can put it on a lettuce cup. I love to do it in like romaine lettuce cups if I'm watching, my carbs that day. If I'm not, I look for high quality corn or flour tortilla, or make them from scratch. So options are sort of endless, but the key here is really just building and layering those flavors so the lentils taste like something delicious versus just a plain old lentil. So hope this was helpful. If you guys want more, I've had a lot of requests for some meatless recipes. I know that I like to try to make everybody happy, so if you all want some more meatless ideas, let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off here and go get some work done, and I think we're gonna hop on live in our Low Sugar Wine Facebook group at about 6 or so and open our February wine club. So if you guys are around, come join us in that group. And if y'all haven't signed up for trim yet, head on over and do that, smokefitness.com/trim. I mean, the round is going to be so much fun. We also have one-on-one spots opening up with myself and some of our trainers for February. So if you all are interested in a more customized approach, we've got one-on-one as well. Just shoot us a message and we'll get you all set up. And hope you guys have an amazing night and stay safe out there. If you're in Kentucky, watch the snow and the ice. And I'll see you all tomorrow at 12 Eastern Time here on Facebook and Instagram. All right, guys, have a good night.